stand by.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not criticising, I'm just saying that there is more that needs to be looked at here than just the rehoming, right? Yep.
I'd like to thank our rehoming that have done the effort up to today. Your words are really concerning me.
Sorry,
You said as quickly as we can rehome these dogs. These people have worked their backsides off, matching these dogs, getting them in the right home. In 2 years' time, can you guarantee that we're not going to see greyhounds roaming everywhere in the district because they've got out, because you put pressure on these people to rehome these dogs as quickly as possible to appease a government, not a dog.
You can't do it quickly.
It has to be done right. We've got to 2031 in the Act if we need it. But these dogs are rehomed in inappropriate places because you guys want it done quickly is unacceptable to the animal. When these people, whether they're privately rehomers or they are our great mates, hounds, whoever, and the licensed people that also do their own, it can't be done quickly. That's an insult to these people that have done the hard work for years. And if they get pressure put on them, we're in danger.
Which is why we point out that we acknowledge that we need to put make extra resource available for the rehoming agencies.
Remove the word quick.
Up the front.
Just changing tack, just from a club point of view, as at the 1st of August, you're going to have effectively a whole lot of solvent clubs. Are you appointing a liquidator come on the 1st of August to around the country to liquidate the assets, the contracts, dealing with the staff? What's going to happen on the 1st of August? From a club point of view.
Right, from a club point of view, we are working with GRNZ on that transition plan in terms of the order in which those assets will need to be.
It's not a matter of that, it's a matter of are you appointing a liquidator to deal with that?
Well,
Who's going to deal with Sarah on the 1st of August when she has to pay the state money for the 31st of July and all the other stuff, the staff
The
contracts,
GST return?
all the stuff.
There will be somebody designated, right, to do that or to be in charge of that.
That's
Whether
what I'm
that is an external liquidator or whether that is an internal process is something which is still being discussed. Right, but it's certainly on the list of things that has to be sorted.
What about compensation for the greyhound owners for the dogs?
Sorry, I couldn't see where that came from.
What about compensation for the greyhound owners for the dogs? The price?
That's not an issue which has been considered or I've been asked to look
Why
at.
not? Why not?
Well,
Yeah, many people put into the job, breeding, raising.
Some of these dogs were over 50,000.
They all breed on good faith, and we have an industry to make our money back on.
A lot of us are still sitting on a very expensive amount of straws as well for breeding purposes. Who's going to reimburse that?
I cannot give you an answer you want to hear in relation to the government's decision about either closing the industry or compensation issues, right? What the transition agency has been set up to do is to transit out of the industry, and that decision having been made. That's unfortunately.
Is there someone else that's going to come in behind you then and, look after the greyhound owners, what all their expenses, we've all got trailers, we've got infrastructure at home, we've got stores, who reimburses us for that, or is that just our loss?
Yeah, at the moment, I am not aware of any program to reimburse for fixed assets.
They bought guns back.
Sorry?
They bought the guns back when that was stopped, so why not the dogs?
Okay, that's a decision outside my remit, I'm afraid.
Here that's been very patient.
Yeah.
I'd just like to ask about what the proposed behavioural and medical euthanasia policy will be.
Okay. So our intention at the moment is that there is no change. We are basing the welfare policy on the GRNZ welfare policy, right? So there's nothing changing
But
that.
I've asked about the behavioural and medical euthanasia policy.
Okay, what my answer on that will be, there will be a panel of appropriate people, vet type people and things, which is, set up as it's provided for at the moment. So any decisions on euthanasia, etc., will be done from that, from that independent panel. That won't be anything to do with us. And the health policy on the level of that is not something which I've got anything current on in terms of, right? But there's no secret plan to change, right? To change the level of those, right? We are not intending to use euthanasia as a rehoming tool.
Got a hand up over here.
Who will be on that panel and what will be the qualifications and relevance to greyhounds in particular?
At the moment, that panel hasn't been appointed, and so we will be looking at the terms of reference of that panel and therefore the appropriate things. But they will be vet type people.
Can we be assured that SPCA will not be having anything to do with our greyhounds?
I can assure you that the SPCA is not a rehoming agency and is therefore not one of the agencies we are working with or contracting to do any rehoming for us.
Let me in there, I'll just put them down with me.
Yeah, we go.
We're just gonna hand over the back.
Why wouldn't you just use the same panel that's in place right now?
Well, it may well be that some of the same people end up on it. I understand it hasn't met very frequently and therefore may need to be renewed. But that,
Hang on. So the welfare panel, getting two things mixed up. The welfare subcommittee meet monthly or quarterly. The welfare panel that decides the behavioural assessment on
Yep,
number
but-
that may need to be euthanized is a completely different panel. Some of those are members of that panel, but the question I'm asking is, if you've got a creative panel to answer Ashley's question, why don't you use the existing panel?
well, we may well.
Well, that's
Right.
a simple decision. You've got 101 decisions to make. That's an easy one.
Well, good.
So
I
clearly
could do
you're
with some
using our
easy
policies
decisions.
if we're shut down because we didn't have enough welfare, but you're happy to use our policies.
Yeah, and happy to
Big
use
concern, huge concern, and our kennels. We were shut down because of welfare, you want your dogs left at our kennels, thank you Joe, and you want to use our policies that Greyhound Racing New Zealand and made up. Sorry.
Cool, we've just got a question here.
So you mentioned before about setting up teams for assessing or different types of things. Will you be, I'm assuming those jobs will be advertised, all these people,
Yeah,
all these
and
different...
yeah.
So will you be making sure that you have first, like, well, I've got all these staff here at the Christchurch Greyhound Club that are now looking for other jobs. I mean, are you going to ensure that the preferential selection will come from the industry?
Absolutely. Right?
And I mean, again, like I've got staff here that are already looking for other jobs. They need to know these things now so they don't go looking for other employment, because their preference would still be to work with these dogs. As you know, they work with the trainers, they work with the dogs every single day. They're out of a job as of the 1st of August. If they know there's an opportunity there to continue for even 3 to 6 months, they're going to take that first. But they need to know now because they are looking now.
I take that point. We're moving as quickly as possible. I haven't got any staff myself either, I assure you. So,
Again, there's people here looking for jobs, so you know.
well, in fact, on that, and certainly we are in the process. I've got an establishment lead, and that's it, and 2 part-timers, right? And so we are in the process of trying to define up the jobs available in the thing, and we can assure you that staff of GRNZ will be given an opportunity first to apply for those jobs. Sorry?
Look, as industry participants, we close in 3 months' time. We don't know what we're doing. You don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
What the hell is going on? You know, I mean, we can thousands and thousands of bloody dollars worth of infrastructure, buildings, machinery, tractors, bloody tracks. What's gonna happen with that? We've got 3 months to get our head around this shit. Someone's gotta get in and get it bloody sorted and get it sorted now so we know what's going on.
Well, I know who could help. GRNZ. Oh, what a surprise. Yeah.
Sell it
I've been
at
trying
Get
to
it
help for the
bloody
last 12
sorted,
to
we've
18
got
months.
3 months left. I know it's not your fault, it's an idiot telling you what to do. But we've got livelihoods, we've got bloody bills to feed.
And
God
we
knows what.
have been working with, and, you know, as I said, GRNZ is, hopefully, continuing to work with you on helping through that transition, right?
Is it their job after the 1st of August? We're not
No,
allowed
but
to
it
raise
is
our
their,
rates.
it is their job right now.
Their job is to continue us to race our greyhounds, not to transition, and that is your position, that Winston Peters put us in and you in. It is not greyhound racing in New Zealand.
Okay, look, I'm not trying to blame anybody for this, and
Well,
you know, I can't actually do anything about the things which are really pissing me off. But
There seems to be a lot of talk about the dogs and that, but the people are the important bits as well, because if the people aren't healthy in their minds and in their health well-being, after the 1st of August, they're not gonna be able to look after these dogs. So you've got to consider the people as well, and not just that, okay, you're gonna pay them for a period, and I think Sarah has mentioned this, that we need to think about staffing, like, that we may need to continue to pay our staff a little bit longer, but looking after our people longer than whatever your cut-off date is. I think it's really, really important that we're looking after the people as well, because if our people aren't healthy, the dogs aren't gonna be looked after.
I couldn't agree more, and that's, you know, as I said, we, hence On Track being here today, we need people to help with that, right? And that's what they are here to help in terms of the navigation, etc. I mean, there is nothing I can do that will make this easy.
That's why the daily rate needs to be $50, not 20.
You're not actually doing much to help
It's
though,
gotta
when
be
you come in
50.
here and say that you're not going to make a living out of doing this. You're gonna cut our money down to next to nothing, so we can't even pay minimum wage. And so how's that going to help mental health?
I didn't say I was going to pay you nothing, but,
But you
right, okay. But what I am saying up front is that this is not a sustainable income path for you,
No,
right?
but
We
it
do
needs to
have
be
to work.
sustainable at the moment, until the dogs are rehomed, it
Yeah.
needs to be sustainable. At the moment, what you said at the start, it's not sustainable.
Okay, well, I mean, as I said, we will continue to work on those numbers, right? To ensure that I can defend the number to provide, right, an income, to pay for the labour costs involved, right? I accept that that is our responsibility to come up with.
You'll get the number from the board accountants. That makes it simple, and you've got
Which
a
would
benchmark, and you can give it to Winston and say, there it is.
What they charge for a large
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, large
per
dog per
40
day.
kilos.
I think it's around $50.
Would you like the stats for that? 'Cause
I've got access to that.
New Zealand
Yeah.
boarding kennels average for a large breed greyhound, $45.60. The median is $43, and the lowest charge in New Zealand for a boarding kennel for a large breed dog is $30. That does not include the extra expenses to travel to a vet. The average was $40 to take the dog to the vet, plus the government mileage rate. Most boarding kennels also have a $10 medication daily charge. So if you're taking your dog to be neutered, that's a $10 extra charge daily to give them their meds. So just to summarise, $45.60 New Zealand average for a large breed at a boarding kennel.
Keep it simple, make it 50.
But how can Winston argue
I'm
that?
with her.
That's
Yeah.
not something that's been decided by our industry, that's a national body average. That's not something that we are creating to
Yep.
somehow make money off
He
of.
needs a benchmark, and there's the benchmark.
It's clean and simple.
I take that as your advice.
Yep, pass it on.
Yep.
You unfortunately is the only person in this whole room that has the ability to talk to Wesley. Because he doesn't want to talk to anybody else in this room. And that's the unfortunate thing for you, is you're getting the frustration, and you're the person, and the only person in the whole room that has the ability to sit down on it. And you're the person
Does
that's
that make me lucky or not?
Unlucky.
No.
Very unlucky. Unlucky.
Well, look at you having to deal with us.
Look, I accept your frustration, and all I can do is try and work out a solution. Because I can't do anything about that other problem.
I think the biggest thing you've got out of this, Heather, is that no way is the daily fee in the 20s acceptable to any of us.
Okay, I hear that.
Absolutely no way.
I was just going to say, just replying to what Johnny was saying, I just want to make everybody aware of how big our team is, because it's not big. So we've only got what's sitting here today, and another couple of people. So we're not a big organisation. So we want to get to everybody, but at the moment we're very tiny as well. So we're doing as much as we can. Unfortunately, we've got Mark as well, who knows everybody is going to be able to help us there.
But can I also say that probably a lot of us won't need that help until 6, 12,
Yeah,
2
yeah,
years.
we know.
It's,
Yeah, we know that. It's going to be that long.
Yeah, it's a long process, it's not just on the festival list.
No.
And the on-track board is discussed.
Yeah, it is a great big process.
Trouble is, on-track isn't gonna be funded by greyhounds after the festival is starting, because, so, it's one of those issues that our board has to work through with.
The other two coasts can pay for it, didn't they? Money off the greyhound racing.
So on track's funded by whom after the first of August?
So
Well,
they're not
so
making
we don't
it.
know whether they're
Harness and
gonna fund it.
thoroughbreds.
Oh, good,
Sorry,
because that's part of the government bill that they were going to be paying, so I wouldn't want greyhound racing to be paying.
I couldn't, so there's a question in there, I
That wasn't a
didn't hear
question,
it.
that was a statement.
Okay.
Are there any further questions, rather than statements?
As greyhound owners, traders, once the transition takes over, are they going to have any direct representation or?
I think the minister has got a position on the board that he is still about to appoint, and certainly I discussed that with some people at the meeting yesterday about whether there was somebody from the greyhound industry that would be an appropriate person to come onto the board. Again, that is not my decision, but if there was somebody that was, if I did sit down with them and I could suggest, then I'm happy to do that.
Right, last question. What will your position be, or whoever it will be, on either trainers keeping undesexed dogs, or trainers or owners rehoming the dogs that aren't desexed?
Yeah, well, that was my last one that I was going to throw at you. The issue of desexing, but people stood up quickly. The issue of desexing dogs for rehoming is part of the GRNZ policy, and our intention is that stays the same. The issue though of private rehoming, we don't have a position.
Because at the moment they have to be desexed even for
That's-
private rehoming.
That's right, for the GRNZ policy. So actually on my list was a question to you. Is it necessary, if you want to privately rehome your dog?
In the act,
So
are
you
the
have
rules
to-
staying? Isn't greyhound racing rules staying under the act? So they'll have to be desexed,
So,
unless you're gonna do the act again and amend that.
so is the position of the group that all dogs should be desexed, or if you want to keep your own dogs, should we ensure that that is still possible, to keep them without desexing?
I
I have entire dogs of my own, greyhounds. They're registered with Kennel Club New Zealand Dogs, Dogs NZ, and 4 of them have been made up to champions, and they will not be D6.
No, well, as I said, we don't
need
have a.
to have clarification of
Well,
where
I mean,
this
in
committee
principle,
stands.
we know we'll do the right thing by not breeding inappropriately if we retain undecessed dogs. However, if those dogs get out into the public, we don't want pig dogs and all that sort of stuff. So, and people may also continue trying to breed to then potentially still get those dogs to Australia. Like, we can all say one thing, but actually in turn we still want something else. We still want the flexibility, but we also don't want them going to,
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, that's,
we don't
it's a
want
conversation where we are very much having. No other dogs are required, well, must be some, in terms of, but, you know, other pet dogs are not required to be D6'd.
Yet.
And so, you know, we have been happy to take the GRNZ policy, because as we said, we would build on the GRNZ rehoming policy, because, right? But, we are open to the issue of, if you don't put the dog into the rehoming program, should there be any requirement for D6ing? Now, you know, and at the moment, I don't see that there has to be, right? But it's a live.
You have seen the problem with stray dogs everywhere in the country.
As a trainer of greyhounds and a lover of greyhounds, I would not like to see an entire greyhound go out into the public community.
The thing too,
because
they're registered with
Because
New Zealand.
the breed can get diluted, and you know, they could end up being made into pig dogs. They pig hunting. Well, welfare for those dogs isn't too flash. I'll give you the tip. So why would we want those beautiful greyhounds to be mixed with other breeds?
If you don't fix
But
it,
but
then the whole breed will die.
Brett,
Once you fix them, well, then you wouldn't have to breed greyhounds.
Talking about going out in
should be
public,
decent.
not within.
Yeah, but the issue, yeah, so the issue is, I mean, it's not straightforward. As you said, you have entire dogs which you
made
behave.
it straightforward. If you belong to the New Zealand Kennel Club, they have as many rules as GRNZ has. Pets are D6'd. Contracts go out with those dogs that they must either not be bred from, or if they're bred from, they only are bred from who you approve of. There is control over that breeding.
Is there a cost to that, Jen? Is there a cost to that?
Yes, you have to be a member of the.
So maybe you need to.
Yeah,
maybe
so I
we
mean,
need
that
to
may be,
make
that may be
needs to
the
be looked at
in-between time, that if you swap the registration, as it were, to the kennel, you know, that may be the in-between bit which protects your concern in terms of diluting, but leaves the possibility that, because if these dogs are great pets, the fact that they can't race doesn't mean that they shouldn't.
And worldwide, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
Britain has already got them on the vulnerable list, greyhounds. There's very few shown all over the world, you know, in relative to the numbers that are racing.
Okay, well, we will certainly follow up on that kennel connection, and maybe that's where a path through that leaves it open but controlled.
And just to paraphrase, so sometime between now and the 1st of August, everyone who owns a racing greyhound will make the decision and effectively sign it over to the transition agency on a keep as a pet. So the ones that are signed over to the transition agency will be D6. So we're only talking about the ones that people choose to keep as a pet by the 1st of August. So you're only talking about a small number, and that's the population. So, and they will be with licensed persons. So you would hope that the responsibility will be there. So the ones going into the public will always be D6.
Yeah, no, the ones going through the, as we said, we will keep that, but it is purely about the issue of whether if you, with your own dogs, whether you want to keep that option. Sorry, yeah.
Who's going to
We
do
have
the
to
kennel inspections after the 1st of August?
We will have to have auditors who are part of the job, whether the people who are currently doing it are contracted to do it, but there will be people contracted to do it. There will be a random inspection policy, right, so it will continue, and in fact, in the same way as that the contract that will be offered will require kennels at appropriate standards, et cetera, et cetera.
And also the list, the gap list, is that still going to be the same as it is now? The
Sorry?
dogs that have been put on it now is about nearly 200.
We will simply start operating from where we are. We're not gonna clean everything up, and start again.
So as they finish racing, they've gone onto that list. The ones racing now are
Yeah.
on the list.
Yeah.
How do you
And the
manage
ones
the ones-
unregistered are still there and haven't raced and probably won't race the young pups.
So essentially, effectively, as from 1st of August, all dogs become part of it, which is why, as I say, it's a real challenge working through the order of that list.
Which can't be hurried.
No, I know it can't be hurried, but absolutely agree with that, but from a dog welfare point of view also, we don't want to keep 100 dogs in kennels for 3 years if we can help it. Right, so I'm not trying to say this has to be sped up in that sense. I'm just saying we need to remember that they are not in an ideal situation.
Can they still go to America? Can that still work?
That can still work, and we are certainly looking at that as a possibility, and if we can expand that, we will. Right, I've got to stop.
I'm getting told, you're getting told. So I just want to thank everyone for obviously turning up today, and there's been some amazing questions, and I think that'll give the transition agency a lot to work on and some really good